All right, West Virginia fans, we're going to cut that countdown short. We are talking about an ugly, ugly first half from the West Virginia Mountaineers up next on the Vom Show. Let's go.
To Morgantown, we break it first. W pride, we quench your thirst. No.
All right, Bernie, what's up, man? All right, guys. So, a rough start to West Virginia's first road game against Ohio. Bernie, I think a lot of our comments today are going to put this on Nico Markiel. He had I certainly wouldn't say it was his best half ever. He was 7 of 12 for 70 yards. I felt like it was much more about the offensive line and the play calling. What were your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I felt like I was watching a Neil Brown game. I don't know what Rich Rod is doing right now. There's been no mid-level passes. There's been no testing the deep ball. They're putting 8 in the box. In my opinion, Rich Rod's responsible for Jahiem White getting injured. That's going to piss people off, but you cannot continually run the ball. I know Rich Rod wants to dominate the line of scrimmage and, put up 300 yards rushing. But if you don't challenge the safeties and the corners, they're going to stack the box the whole damn time. And our offensive line is terrible. They have not gelled yet. And it showed, and Ohio exploited it. Rich Rod's been outcoached completely this first half. Nico Markiel has been out QB'd this first half. Our defense is tired. They've been on the field because we went 4 straight 3-and-outs. We're 1 for 5 on third down. This is not on the defense. The defense actually came up with 2 very key stops in the first half. This is on Rich Rod, his shit play calling, and just not changing the tempo. The up tempo will work to a degree if they bite. This is like the Pitt game all over again. They're dominating the time of possession, and Rich Rod is falling right into their trap right now. And I'm totally shocked. I'm shocked. I think this is not what I expected. I thought Rich Rod would have him better prepared, and he hasn't. This is squarely on him, in my opinion, right now.
Totally agree. Parker Navarro has been outstanding. I mean, he's 13 to 17 for 200 yards. It looks like he can do whatever he wants. He can basically run anytime he wants. And like you said, he has been much better than Nico in the first half. Defense, I agree, man. It other than those 2 blown coverages, we've been pretty decent. I don't know, man. What do you think about the second half? Are we coming back? I feel very optimistic about it. I think that's about as bad as we can play. I feel very optimistic we're going to make a run and do much better in the second half.
I'm not sure. Rich Rod needs to not be stubborn and be willing to change. And I don't know that that's him. I'll tell you something I'm also going to say you're probably not going to be happy about. If Nico doesn't dial himself in, he needs to be subbed out. He's playing terrible this game. He doesn't look comfortable. He's missed 4 easy passes by my count right now that he should have made. And he's pulled the ball down 3 times where he should have passed, and he tried to run. And Ohio's keying on that. So I am a huge Nico supporter. I think he's fantastic, but I don't know what's going on today with him. He looks all kinds of out of sorts. The play calling is part of it, but at the same time, when you run a lot of RPOs, it's your job to read the edge and make the right decision. And by my count, 4 times Nico has made very bad decisions that have cost negative plays. You can't do that in this game. And what we said the whole week prior was the only people that could beat us in this game are ourselves. We have more talent. We have more depth. Right now, they are dominating the time of possession, which is totally taking away our schemes. And it's keeping their defense fresh and our defense tired. This is a bad setup right now. If Rich Rod does not make some drastic changes, we're not only going to lose, we're going to lose bad. And it's going to be an embarrassment. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, we got a ton of comments here, man. I'm going to go through some of them. Shaggy over on YouTube says, another terrible first half. Hopefully they turn it around like they did last week. I do think we're going to have a better second half. Ultimately, I do think Rich Rod is a much better head coach, and we'll get things figured out in the second half. Christopher West says this team may not win 2 games the way they are starting to look. I don't know, man. I think it's a little early to say that. I still think that we have the talent, although, man, losing Jahiem White, which, I mean, it looked to me like that's a broken leg. I don't want to say for sure that it was a broken leg, but it certainly looked like that.
I think it was the knee, buddy.
Oh, was it his knee?
If you put up that X post that I sent the team,
yeah,
when you look at it, his knee, when they did the horse collar, both of his knees got buckled. And what happens with that is when your weight is going one way, and if you get pulled down, your knee is going to support the other leg's weight. And it looked to me like he blew out his knee. And I hate to say it, but if you see the picture I put up on X, I took it in slow-mo and I watched it several times going back and forth. It looked like he got pulled down, his one leg stabilized, his other leg got pulled under him, and it looked like his left knee buckled. So typically that's a torn ACL or MCL. I hate to say it, but look, I'm in healthcare, everybody. So what I do, that's what it looked like to me. It may be partially torn, but either way, that's what I see. Again, I'm just going off of, what I could see from my medical experience, but that's what it looked like to me.
For an already thin running back room, it's just devastating. We do have Sincere Bowers, who is going to be a star at some point. I don't know if he's ready to step in and be the star right now, but I think we're going to find out very quickly. Jeremy Burton over on YouTube said these plays are very Neil Brown-like. Did it look any different than a Neil Brown offense at all in the first half? It looked exactly like Neil Brown was playing the calls.
That was the worst play calling I've ever seen, including Neil Brown. I thought the jet sweep to Gallagher was smart in the beginning. But if you think about Cam Vaughn came up with a good catch, when did you see Cam Vaughn targeted again? You didn't.
Yeah.
There was no mid-level over-the-middle passes. Rich Rod tried to establish the line of scrimmage, and I don't know if he's had a fair time to evaluate his offensive line, but they lost that battle embarrassingly in the first half. So you cannot run that kind of offense if you cannot dominate in the trenches, and our O-line cannot dominate in the trenches against a very seasoned Ohio defense. And that Ohio D coordinator knows what he's doing, and he's baiting Rich Rod, and Rich Rod's falling for it right now. I really hope he makes the adjustments and has the ability to watch this, but I'm telling everybody right now, if he does not start to throw mid-level screens, out routes, and slants, we're going to lose, and we're going to lose bad, because you cannot have the defense on the field as long as they've had with a quarterback that can scramble. And they if you notice in that half, we held him in the first half to limited scramble yards. By the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, he had 40 scramble yards and 160 passing, because you're baiting linebackers up and you're not putting a spy on them. And the 2 third down conversions that were long were on quarterback scrambles, because you're not putting a spy. So this is a really bad situation right now. I think Rich Rod is really being, I don't want to say exposed, but for whatever reason, he's out of sorts right now. And so is our whole offense.
Viper Strike over on YouTube said Bowers, and Scotty Fox. I don't know, man. That sounds like that would certainly be a good spark off the bench. I think those two are both young, talented players who could give us a little bit of a spark there off the bench. Christopher Brown's calling me out. We stopped making politically right comments. Is this what happened there? Have nothing to do with football. Oh, he's talking about I did make a comment earlier on Twitter, Bernie, about female football commentators. What are your thoughts on female football commentators, man?
I don't care so much about the female football commentators as much as I do some of the questionable calls we got in the first half on the refs, right? I don't care who's calling the game. What I care about is the fact that I thought that roughing the passer call that gave him a field goal was BS. I thought that holding call that gave him first down was BS that led to a touchdown. So, what I see Ohio doing right now too is they're playing dirty until they get caught. And that's another thing that I think Rich Rod and the team has to adjust to, because I think they're legitimately, this is like for them right now, they have us and they have Ohio State next week, and then they go into their max schedule. These are their 2 Super Bowls. So they want to win to set themselves up for an Ohio State matchup, and they're just seeing what they could get away with. And it cost us Jahiem White because of that. So our team better get their head out of their rear end, or they're going to look embarrassed in the second half, because that's what it looks like right now. They just look all out of sorts.
A lot of people are asking about Ty Edwards, who is the transfer running back from Northern Iowa. Ty Edwards, he wasn't practicing for several weeks, and so I think he's unfortunately just behind on getting snaps and reps in practice. And I would love to see Ty Edwards. I think he's an absolute monster. I think he's a stud running back, and hopefully we will see him or Sincere Bowers in the second half.
Well, Bowers, I feel like, could definitely step in and be the White counterpart, right? Like, we've seen the burst, we've seen his ability, he could catch the ball well. If somebody is going to sub in, and there's no Jahiem White replacement, there's just not. Jahiem White's a superstar, but Sincere Bowers could give you the twitch and the burst that's complementary to Jahiem White, and then you have a Ty Edwards that could give you the hammer, similar to what they're trying to do with us right now. And it's frustrating too, because when you look at their offense, they really have 3 guys that are essentially beating us right now. Navarro's killing us. He has over 200 and some odd total yards, right? And I have to say, Zach Alley, love the guy. I posted about it. I said he's such a game changer, but you can't do anything when your defense is gassed, because they've been on the field 70% of the first half. That's not on him or our defense. But we're getting beat by 3 guys right now, and it's Navarro, Hendricks, and the other receiver I can't remember. And that's it. You take away those 3 guys, you put a spy on Navarro, and just make sure you have somebody speedy enough to catch him. All those rushing yards go away. And it's just it's really frustrating to see right now what's going on, because I feel like we are so much of a better team, but this team is much more calm and settled in, and we're getting beat on the fundamentals, and that's tough to watch.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about a potential loss to Ohio, what that would do to the Rich Rod regime. Like, what would this do to his fan support? A lot of fans are willing to give him another shot because we wanted anybody really other than Neil Brown. If we were to lose today, what happens, man? What happens with? Are people calling for Neil Brown to come back? Are we calling for Rich Rod to be fired already?
No, not at all. I think if we lose today, it's part of the rebuilding period. I think we wanted to be ahead of what the expectations were. But again, this, in my opinion, is not on the team. I'm putting this squarely on Rich Rod right now. And I don't do that often because I love him. But his play calling has been shit the first half. I'm just going to call it what it is. And when you do that and you don't create a tempo and you don't create easy passes and you try and continually dominate the line of scrimmage and you get beat where your offensive line is a weak spot, you're totally exposing yourself. And it's been repetitive. So I don't think that people call for his head, but I do think that there's going to be a lot of pushback. And there should be. It's not going to change anything. Rich Rod's not going away for a long, long time. But at the end of the day, he also needs to be challenged and answer for why he made some of these stupid calls that he's made in this first half. And, I really hope that our press corps, quotation marks, pink ladies, I hope they actually challenge Rich Rod and grow a set of balls, because he needs to be challenged in those press conferences since we don't have our credentials.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. They didn't do it for 6 years under Neil Brown. They're not going to start with Rich Rodriguez. That's unfortunate. We've got so many comments, man. I'm trying to read through them while you're talking. It says, Mike Brooks over on YouTube says, I think Pitt is lurking in Rich Rod's head the way he is coaching right now. Christopher Brown says, real talk, what if we lose the game? How you feeling about Pitt next week? I don't know, man. I'll watch Pitt beat up on Central Michigan today. I thought they looked pretty good. I was already a little bit concerned about next week's game before this game, and now I'm even more concerned. Bernie, I mean, I don't know. We lose today, then potentially miss out on College game day coming to Morgantown. I mean, that's a huge. It's not bad just losing to Ohio, but losing to Ohio and then potentially also losing on ESPN coming to town. It's huge, man.
It is. And again, I'm shocked at the level of play. I thought, the first drive looked really good. Everybody was involved. You had some good play calling. And then it looked like he just got stuck. And he was determined to establish the line of scrimmage. But I don't think he understands how weak of an offensive line he has. And you just cannot, and we said it last week, you cannot not test the deep ball. You cannot test the over routes. You cannot test the out routes and the slants and put your skilled positions in space. I mean, he invented that. I don't know what he's doing right now. This legitimately looks like a Neil Brown game, and I'm sick to my stomach over it. They should not be losing this game. If they get a few more first downs, you take away at least 10 points from Ohio. That's just the reality. They are letting their defense get gassed, and they are not changing up the offensive scheme, and I don't know why. I really just can't figure it out.
We're getting a lot of these comments, Bernie, and I don't want to just skip over them because people will say that I'm not being fair here. Listen, a lot of people are saying that Nico Markiel is not athletic enough. He's too slow. Again, I think he had a bad first half. I don't think that that's necessarily true that he's not athletic enough. I've seen his numbers. I know he can run fast. I know he can run over people, but certainly I think it's fair to say that he had an extremely rough first half.
Well, look, for everybody that's joining now and didn't see it in the beginning of the show, I flat out said, as much as I love Nico, he's earned my respect. He's the starter. If he does not get his head out of his rear end for the second half, you have to make a switch, because he is missing basic throws. He is not pulling. He's missing some basic RPO reads, and he pulled down the ball 3 or 4 times more than he should have. That cost us several yards. You cannot go 1 for 5 on third downs against an Ohio and expect to win this game. And unfortunately, that's a mix of play calling, but that's also a mix of Nico missing some very easy throws and also pulling down the ball 3 or 4 times when you shouldn't have. You should have given it to the back. And, that's part of football, man. Like, if you're having a bad day, whatever's going on in his head, maybe he's putting a little too much of, pressure on himself. You got to make a switch and calm him down and then get him back in the game next week. He's still the starter, but right now you need a change of pace. And quite honestly, I'm surprised we didn't see Henderson or Fox earlier, because the way Nico is moving the ball after like the third 3 now, I would have tried to switch something up. That's just me. So as much as we love Nico on VOM, you got to win the game today to set up for not only the Pitt game, but ESPN coming to Morgantown. There's too much on the line.
Charlie on YouTube took an optimistic view. He says, sounds like a bunch of fair weather fans. Mountaineers will be okay. Let's go Mountaineers. I hope that Charlie's absolutely right. We are getting a lot of J Money time. The backup is always the most popular player on the team. But Bernie, we saw him last week. He did look good on a couple of runs, but the passes that he threw, they didn't look good, man. So I maybe give him a shot, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to help.
No, and again, right? Like, I'm not sitting here saying Nico needs to be out the entire second half. We need to throw a wrinkle in, and Rich Rod should have done that earlier. Whether it's Fox or Henderson, I don't care. I went on the record last week saying that I thought Fox looked better than Henderson. Henderson missed one very easy throw, and the second throw was mid. So, I mean, that's why Nico's the starter. Nico's a better passer. But right now, we're losing 17-7 to an Ohio team that we should not be playing in friggin' Ohio. This re-emphasizes how bad of an athletic director Shane Lyons was. Thanks a lot for this friggin' game, Shane Lyons. One more last shit on the program before you leave. Appreciate it, buddy. I mean, it's just, again, this is just not stuff we should be doing as our program right now. Even the announcers even made a comment, oh, usually you do, home and then away and then home. So it's 2-1. And we're going away and then home in the middle of a coaching change. Just, one more thing, good old Shane Lyons left us.
Guys, the game is now back on. We're gonna go watch the game. We'll be right back after the game. Join us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the halftime show. We'll be on right after the game for the post game. See you guys in a bit. Let's go Mountaineers.
To Morgantown, we break it first. W pride, we quench your thirst. No spin, all truth, loud and proud. Mountaineer nation, say it loud. The voice of Morgantown.